How do? How doodly do indeed. Welcome, good evening, good morning, good whatever the time is where you're at right now. It is 1 past 10 on this, Thursday evening in good old Sydney town. Thank you for joining me. I say this every single stream. I'm actually going to try and be quick on this, and as quickly as I can probably be, I will try. No guarantees, but hey, not one for trying. So thank you for tuning in, if those tuning in live and those are watching later on. As the thumbnail suggests, as the title suggests, the whole incel thing is getting a little bit out of control. There was a video that I found online this morning from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, and it goes for 23 minutes and 50 seconds, which I'll link it below, and you guys can check it out later on in its full context and everything. I'm not going to take anything out of context, but just the sheer notion, the sheer thought of this actually being a thing, that's what's really got me tripped out in a way, because as much as we can say incels and all that sort of stuff is bad, or there's a reason behind it, there are maybe things we can probably do as a society to maybe understand more, maybe not make them as threatening, because I don't think they actually, like, this is the tricky thing. Are they threatening in a way? Because we've seen some very bad things happen because of, shall we say, inceldom, if that's even a word or a term. The most notorious one was the Elliot Rogers incident in 2014. We've had a few since then, and a lot of the times it's basically because the guys just are not successful with the ladies. It's shout out to Silvertop. Hello, sir. Caught your stream today, this morning, pretty much the hour. It sort of inspired me to do this one here. Obviously, yours was a little bit different, but in a similar type of fashion to the topic at hand. Silvertop did his bit on the whole depression situation. Fresh and Fit had a gentleman by the name of Skippy, and I'm not saying he is. I don't know that he is himself, but if you looked at him, you'd probably get the vibe that he is probably what we would consider to be an incel. And I'm not saying that he is. He might be. He might not be. But that's generally the sort of like image that we get of these types of people. And that's sort of like what got me thinking about this, because it just so happened that I happened to see this exact, not same, but a very similar sort of trend towards the whole, not depression, but what can come from it, if you will. Because there's a lot to be said when you are unsuccessful with the ladies, especially for the men in this instance here, because we've seen in the past, as I mentioned, things go horribly wrong and very, very bad most of the time. So, and for those unfamiliar, the whole incel term, involuntary celibates, basically the guys who are just unable to get with women. They're unsuccessful. They don't have what it sort of takes to maybe, be good with the women, the charm or a look or something about them. And it's basically the way they probably perceive themselves to be, because they're unable to attract women sexually. And sometimes their views can be seen as hostile or derogatory towards women, but that's probably more of a reflection of themselves not being able to understand why other men who are sexually active or attract women are getting the ladies and they're not. And as good old Silvertop says here, things being it's not a problem, but incel narratives are usually dangerous because they are fueled by frustration. Yes, that's basically the crux of this live stream here. It's, you want to be an incel, that's fine, you can be one. If you are involuntary celibates, that's completely on you as well. But there is a way to change these sort of things. I believe so anyways. I'm not saying that everyone who is one should change, but I think the more you understand something about yourself, the more you understand how things around you operate, maybe you're not going to be as hostile and as erratic or as angry towards certain people. And there was in the UK, which is referenced in this video, about Jake Davison, from Plymouth, who I think took the life of his mother, and I'm not sure if it was himself or not. I'm not too sure, but you can just sort of look at them, and the appearance just gives it off in a way. And look, it's not a nice thing to be. It's not something we probably aspire to, but it is something that does happen, and there are reasons behind it. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole history of it, but what I am going to do is go into this video here. So hopefully everything's going to work for me nice and neatly in a nice little package. And we'll do it this way. Here we go. Much better. Okay. Hopefully this audio comes through.
If you're an incel, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. Dr. Charlotte Proudman, a leading human rights barrister, is campaigning for all participants in incel culture to be outlined as potential terrorists.
So we've seen this bubbling up.
Maybe we try again. I'm not hearing anything. Dylan Ewan, thank you very much. It was his mother and 5 others. Yeah, that's terrible stuff, man. Let me just try this again. Get rid of. Gotta love technology when it works, and when it doesn't work, it's an absolute pain. Share tab audio. Yes, yes, yes. Bang, bang, bang. Add to the stream. Try it again.
Especially in the UK. On the lines of,
not hearing.
what was that chap in Portsmouth? The guy who went and killed his mother?
That was Plymouth, yeah, that was Jay Davison, yes. And this is, I suppose, what she's making this argument off of the back of. The Independent reads that incel groups glorify violence against women and should be regarded as terrorists, Charlotte Proudman has warned. Dr. Proudman said incel groups are a growing problem, yet the authorities wrongly see incidents as being isolated one-offs rather than joining up the dots. So she's trying to present this as a predominantly societal problem, of course.
So straight off the bat there, these guys here, they find interesting articles, like to talk about it for those maybe not as welcoming to, but one of the main hosts of this is Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad. I know it's not really liked by many people out there, but they do talk about certain things that not many others would dare talk about, and I'll just make myself smaller, a little bit smaller. There we go, so we can actually see what's going on here. And they've found this article where they're basically saying that incel groups should be sort of touted as terrorists or classed as because of the atrocities that they've perpetrated. And as we said, it's probably more so something in it where you say to yourself, okay, why are they doing these things, rather than, well, they are what they are. Like, there's a reason why everyone gets to a certain point, or goes a certain way, because everyone has a boiling point. Once they reach that boiling point, either the kettle turns off and everything simmers back down because, like, okay, I'm not going to get to that, I'm just going to do something else or understand or whatever, or they blow the gasket, it blows off, and bad things happen.
But also, hang on, joining up the dots to what? Because, I mean, that's what terrorism is.
So I don't want to play the whole thing. You guys can check it out yourselves. There was one bit in here which I should have checked out beforehand, and we'll just play through this bit. Gotta love live streams, don't you? I'm not as good as Silver is with his live streams. My bad. I'll get better, I promise.
But
it's just so funny.
Spot the misogyny.
Right. So, I mean, what we got?
Who feel like they're being, well, at least from their perspective, denied a social good that everyone else has except for them.
Okay, so it sort of comes from here now. So this is from a forum where they've just got talking about all sorts of bits and pieces here when it comes to the whole incel thing. So try to catch it up from here.
I mean, are these misogynists, or are they just extremely unhappy, perhaps even depressed men who feel like they're being, well, at least from their perspective, denied a social good that everyone else has except for them because of their genes?
Why can't I get laid?
Yeah.
Why don't girls like me?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I just see John typing there about MI5 smashing down the doors because we've been on incel.net.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's an archive link, MI5.
Yeah. But for me, it's no wonder why forums like this exist, given how sex is constantly presented across popular culture as something that's infinitely available. This is
just straight on that bit there. technically wise, I don't have the fancy chat scrolling and all those sorts of bits and pieces, man. So I'm just doing what I'm doing off the cuff here. But I appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much, sir. But as you can see here, they basically summed it up there, like, you know, not getting with women, not getting the sexual activity you probably expect or that you were told as a young man, as a teenager, watching movies and all those sorts of things. It's always, as Neutral Samurai says here, they never ask why or try to understand. And look, you don't have to like what they do or how they are, but when you understand, you sort of say to yourself, okay, well, I'm not as hostile towards them because I understand why they're acting a certain way. It's better to understand something than to not understand something and be scared about it. That's basically what I'm getting at with this thing. But that's basically what it is there. It's this whole thing of like, why is this person good with the women and I'm not? I'm nice, I'm polite, I do all the right things I'm supposed to. Why don't they like me? And man, I should have just given you the stream, dude. You're reading into my head already. Because due to our Western obsession with sex, yes, that is basically it as well. Because in this day and age, when you've got, I love to bring it up here, this device here, you know, mobile phone, cell phone, smartphone, whatever you want to call it, when you can just do a swipe across and meet up with almost anyone and everyone around you, near you, in the next state, hell, even countries across the world, there's always something you can get out of a dating app or messaging someone online, but you do have to be a certain way. These guys, they just don't have what it takes, or their appearance isn't what is probably necessarily considered to be attractive, or their persona isn't as welcoming, and that's sort of like what it moves towards, because it's like, well, I'm doing all the right things. I'm being nice. I'm being a good man. I'm being this. I'm being that. Why am I not getting any poon? It is very much a case of how you are as a person, because we're not saying go out there and just be complete, you know, dicks to women or talk them down or anything like that. There is very much an understanding in this, and as MDU says here, porn plays a huge role, 100%. This is why porn is so prevalent in this whole incel culture, if we're going to call it, because you always see nonstop online even the meme of like the incel, you know, watches porn nonstop, plays games, has a waifu and all that sort of stuff. It is very much akin to like nerddom and all these derm terms and all these sorts of things. I don't necessarily think it is specifically linked to that, but it does have a connection there, because that's what you would think of. And the way porn is portrayed these days, because it's so readily available, it's so easy to get, the access is there, and some men don't need the female connection. They can go ahead and just, you know, watch porn and whack one off 5 minutes or whatever it is, and then, you know, I'm done for the day and till tomorrow. If it works for you, it works for you. 100%.
It's a truth that only applies to a very, very small minority of men who are lucky enough to be that attractive, and all women, probably. But anyway, the natural response, I suppose, if you take that view, is to feel kind of, I suppose, slightly betrayed when you've been grown up with these expectations, looking at Hollywood movies that make it honestly look like that this is something that everyone could enjoy, and then you realise that actually the game works very differently.
There's a key word he said there, the game. There's a lot of talk of game out there. You know, when men learn game or women learn game, it's very much of, okay, how can I get in with this woman? And for a woman, it might be, how can I, you know, get what I want from this man without giving in, you know, my sexuality? And look, there are nuances between it, but in a general sense, that's roughly what you're talking about. And like I said, when you watch Disney movies and Hollywood movies and rom-coms and all these sorts of things, you think, you know, the typical Hollywood movie, shall we say, typical Hollywood teen movie where you've got the guy, the jock, strapping young lads, you know, good beard, nice hair, you know, decent physique and all those sorts of things, a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant, but he hits a sweet spot for that woman. And she just can't get enough of him, and the guy who's trying to actually get with her is getting nowhere, because he's the friend, he's the support, you know, he's there for her, he's there to support her emotionally, he'll do whatever he wants for her, on the premise that, you know, she'll say, yeah, you're actually a very nice guy, you are so lovely to me, here, take some of my, you know, I don't know, here, have some sex, you know what I mean? doesn't work that way, though. That's the reality of the situation. Not for everyone. I'm sure there are instances out there where this does work, but in a general sense, it doesn't work that way. But in the movies, in the fairy tale sense, that jock, the Chad, as we've come to know these archetypes, they're gonna be seen for the douchebags that they are, very terrible, bad for prospect, all that sort of stuff, and they're gonna get with the nice guy because you always cared for her and he loves her and all these other bits and pieces. Now, when you think of that and you say to yourself, okay, well, I've hit A, B, C, D, all the way through to Z or whatever, and I'm not getting anywhere. What is the big deal? Screw this. I don't care anymore. I can just watch porn. I don't care. And as Dylan says here, in the sense it creates unrealistic portrayals of sexual relations. That's what it is, because when you haven't been with a woman and you think that all you have to do is buy her a drink because you've seen it in porn or you've seen it in movies, and you say to yourself, this is all it takes. This is the easiest thing. And you know what? There probably is some instances of that. I don't know how often or how rarely that would happen, but there is probably something to it. And they get this misconception that that's all you got to do and you're in. It's not the case. Not the case. And Dylan says, transactional kindness for coochie. That, yeah, there is the meme there. There is the meme. I want to find it now. I'm going to find the meme because it's, was it from, damn, that TV show, Rick and Morty. The nice guy meme. It's like, where is it? Here we go. Here we go. Got it right here. Let's bring it up. Bring up the tabs. Share screen. Bring another one into it. God, I love doing this in real time, honestly. Bloody hell. Anyways, this is, where is it? Right here. Bang, bang, bang. There it is. How nice guys think sex works. Times I respected women. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then on the last one, they're going to get it. It's what it is, man. It is what it is. And Silver says, Hollywood usually the fantasy of the directors themselves, so the issue goes deep. Yeah, it could be. It could be a way you're portraying yourselves in a certain way. Like, I was never like this as a teenager, or this is what I thought it was going to be like, but it's not like that at all. And now I need to make a way where this shit actually makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. And when people are living out this fantasy, like Silver says, rightly so, the people are going to think, okay, well, maybe that's exactly how it is. Maybe I need to do more of that. It doesn't always work that way, though. That's the trick. Go back to this bit here. So, got a few more. Yeah, projection. For real. I hope that's how you pronounce it. For real. Difference between being a creep and flirting is how handsome you are. That it is what it is, man. That's another key aspect. The memes are there for a reason. We've seen the Office meme, hi Janet, you're looking lovely today. Oh, thank you. And it's the guy in a well-tailored suit, nice smile, hair done, whatever. And then it's the sort of out-of-weight guy wearing the geeky cardigan. He's got the glasses and his hair's in a bit of a cowlick. And he says, hi Janet, nice dress. Get out of here, you creep. And it's like, bro, how do you differentiate that stuff, man? How? Antonio Montana. If you can see the poster right above me right there, that is you, my friend. I'm sure a few incels just deleted themselves without hurting others right before. Probably. It's a sad state to be in. I would not want to be one of these gentlemen, shall we say. You know what? I'll go a little bit deep in the story now. I wasn't an incel, but I was what you would consider one of these nice guys. And this is many, many moons ago. So I'm 33 years old right now, going on 34. And when I was in my early 20s, like every guy, there was a woman, and she was very attractive, and she was wanted by a lot of other guys. And she's close to you because you get to drive around and do things together. You have a laugh. They're always together. They're always hanging off your shoulder and, doing all the nice cutesy things in public and all this and blah, blah, blah. And you're thinking like, hey, this chick's really into me. And then you say to her, oh, let's go out for a date. Oh, sorry, I'm busy. Okay. Hey, you want to go hang out or watch a movie? Oh, sorry, I can't. Okay. Hey, I'm going here. Do you want to come with me? I can't. Okay. This is interesting. Every time we're out together, normally in public, she's always all over me. Now she doesn't want a bar of me. Okay, scratch my head. All right, whatever. Eventually, you realize that she's telling you one thing, And when she's not responding to you and not answering calls because you made a plan to do something together, because, yeah, that's what friends do, naive me back then, and you say to yourself, okay, this is interesting, not picking up her phone, not answering anything, I'm going to go to her parents' house because I know where she lives. And when you go to a parents' house and you say, hey, how are you? And she's like, hey, where's my daughter? You tell me. She said she was with you. Not here. When they call them up on the spot and they say, where are you? Who are you with? And they drop your name and you're there right next to them while they're talking on the phone and they say, talking shit. He's right here next to me. Wherever you are, get your ass home right now. And after that, I just went, bro, no more of this nonsense, because I got sick of it. I got absolutely sick of it, man. Like, I've experienced this myself, so I'm not talking out of my ass. Like Neutral says, deep. I don't know if he's talking about the comments or not. For real says, the halo effect is very real, but it goes to a degree. It's not as black pillars like to believe. It looks like literally everything. Yeah, the black pillars, you know, for that term, it's basically, it's all doom and gloom. Don't worry about it. Just get rid. Get rid. Nath, what up? How are you? Thank you for joining. Yeah, so that was that hurts me, bro. Yeah, look, man, I've copped it, and when I meet people now, I just know like not to expect the most. Like, I'm not gonna say whatever. I just do my thing now. I not to say I act a certain way, but my perception of how I was as a person, as a young adult in my early 20s to now is very, very different. If you met me 10 years ago when I was 23, I was nice guy, beta man, do whatever for the woman, thinking that she's going to do things because she likes me. And now I think back and I'm just like, wow, that was so cringe of me. But it goes back to that whole thing of the mindset. Like, there's a reason why guys fall into this trap and why they can't get out. I think Silver said it in his stream last night for himself, this morning for me, where he mentioned something about Skippy being on the Fresh and Fit pod and how Myron was saying like, oh, like there's no need for you to be depressed. You got running water, you got heat, you got food. Like, bro, we've seen it time and time again. Sometimes the happiest people, the people that have the most in the world going for them, end up taking themselves out because they just can't take it anymore. And there is a reason why they get to this point. It's easy to disregard and say, yeah, don't worry about it. You know what? 5 years ago, I probably would have looked at what an incel was and thought, but what a loser. Like, who does that? Like, what is that nonsense? But the more you understand, the more you get sort of like put yourself in their mind frame. And because I wasn't there, but I was sort of in that sort of like zone, shall we say, I can understand, I can sympathize, I can empathize, and I get where these people are coming from. It's easy to point the finger and say, you're a loser, you're this, you're that, excuse me, blah, blah, blah. But you really have to look at it and say like, okay, this is how you can better yourself. This is how you can get yourself out of this position, out of this situation, just by doing simple things. Change your appearance, you look nice and tidy, start dressing a little bit differently. And again, it comes back to this whole thing of like comfort. How comfortable are you? If you're comfortable being who you are, watching porn every day, doing whatever it is that you're doing, and it's working for you and it doesn't affect anyone or anything, do it, man. You go for it. You do whatever you got to do. Make yourself happy. Keep yourself, on the steady, man. Be on your square, whatever it is you're doing. If it's working for you, it's working for you. But when you do these things and then you say to yourself, how is this guy who is a good looking fella, maybe not as good looking as probably one would perceive, but how is this person always getting women? How is he always talking to them? What is he do? I'm the nice guy here. I'm the respectable one. I'm the one who's here willing to do things for the ladies, but they're not doing anything back for me. So they say to themselves, okay, I'm going to take my frustrations out on society. And that's the wrong way to go about it, man. You don't do that. Like, part of me like understands and empathizes, but the other part of me thinks to myself, why are you guys going to these extremes? And sometimes I just think like, what could have helped this person get out of this situation and not have him do these things?
Sorry, just in my head, I'm thinking back to like if you go onto an ISIS sympathizing board What's going to be there? I mean, it's going to be videos of terrorism and be like, yeah, this is based, death to the kuffar, all the rest of it.
Like
Not,
what they're going to be
hey,
talking about
women
on
won't date
boards
me.
and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's not, no, these things are just two different things on different planets.
And what more than that? What do you think is going to facilitate? Is more likely?
Just quickly, straight out to Chad. What a guy. Myron and Andrew Tate are mistaken with their analysis of depression, but he's the first YouTuber to offer Skippy guidance instead of criticism. Yeah, I'll give him that. He actually, I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised to see Skippy on the show with Myron and Fresh and the ladies. Like, that would have been an opening to him. Like, that would have been like a what is going on right now? Like, it would have been so surreal for this guy who's there talking to someone. And look, we can all criticize and have our faults about Myron and whatever, but sometimes the guy drops good information and he has good things to say and he helps a lot of people out. I will not knock him on that because I know he's helped me with his advice in the past on things that he said relevant to my situation. But instead of having response videos and comments and all these sorts of things, laughing and saying, like, this is what he should be doing, this is how he could better himself, this is how he could get himself out of this situation, the easiest thing is just to look and say, haha, look at him, like, what a loser. It's not helpful. It's not helpful, and that just maybe perpetuates that hate within him. It perpetuates that notion that, why are these people laughing at me? This is not right. I'll show yous, and goes and does something crazy. Silvertop, a response to Chad. Don't think people think Skippy is well guided. He's a mess. The wake up call is not a bad thing, but it was the depression thing that really missed the mark. Yeah. To take it back to my initial story situation, the wake-up call was, for me, that whole thing of like, okay, I'm being absolutely had here and I'm not putting up with this anymore. Like, I'm not someone's go-to guy, so you can go and flirt around and you know what she was doing, hanging out with other guys, going to car meetups, all these sorts of things. And someone tried to tell me, not years before, but a year before that, because I'd been friends with her for a while, family, friends, and all that sort of stuff. Years before that, and they tried to tell me, but me, just that, to use a known term these days, the blue pill lens was on, and I was just like, yeah, you're trying to throw me off and all these bits and pieces, but yeah, man, if I took that advice earlier on, I probably would have, gotten out of that rut, or maybe I would have just gone into someone else for that, man. I don't know. A mere observation with vibe. Word, I get to catch you live. Cheers from Florida, USA. Hello to you. A mere observation with vibe. Mount Jeeves. No, I offered him criticism, which if done can be guidance. It wasn't in his case, but Skippy put himself there as brave. I would love to know how Skippy got himself onto Fresh and Fit. I want to know how that absolutely went down. Who approached who? Who said, come on the show, we'll have some hot ladies on there for you. We'll teach you some things. We'll discuss a few things. That depression thing, yeah, that wasn't it. You wanna know more about that? Watch Silvertop's live stream from the other day. That guy's gonna really get it going for you. But let's get back to this video because I'm waffling on for too much.
To facilitate
Tinder
misogyny.
insights. I'm sorry, but just,
Get off Tinder, for goodness sake.
could you imagine, like, jihadists talking like this? Well, I went on muslimsmeet.com and
like, why don't girls like me?
That's why I joined ISIS.
Just quickly, look at the things they're talking about. Tinder insights, social constructs are rigged with double standards. You probably say, do you want kids? Question of curiosity. When people ask me why I fap all the time. Like, see, these are things that these guys do. Like I said, they watch the porn nonstop every single day. It always is the same thing. American Psycho is not an incel movie. A great movie, by the way, with was it Patrick Bateman, played by what's his name? Christian Bale. Love that movie. Absolutely love it.
I don't think it is.
I think
See, look, would you marry a 40-year-old 7 out of 10, if she spent her entire 20s and 30s with Chad boyfriends? Like, bro.
I think we can see from this that the overwhelming majority of people who use these forums use them more often than not as places to either make peace with their frustrations or perhaps just to be consoled by others or to console others to make, well, just because I suppose they have a moral conscience of how hard it is. They just see themselves to be naturally unlucky, having received a bad lot on the gene pool front, and just want to be, consoled.
Well, that's the weird thing. Elliot Rogers and the other chap, I feel like if they just did themselves up, they'd look a lot better than they do.
I mean, Elliot, I've seen enough forum posts of people who fancy Elliot Rogers to know that he's not. I mean, he's short, but below average in height, but his facial structure is fine.
Yeah.
But he's not ugly in the slightest. I mean, what was putting women off?
Was his personality.
Was his personality. When you're going to refer to yourself as the supreme gentleman constantly, they're probably going to think this guy's maybe
I've got the place to be.
Yeah.
See, this is what I say, like how you portray yourself. You always be the nice guy. I'm the supreme gentleman. Like things like that is like, what has someone come to the conclusion that this is the way to go about it? Because I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier this evening. I asked her, what's your take on incels? Oh, you've mentioned this to me before. What is it again? I explained involuntary celibate, all those, whatever. Oh, but we like a nice guy, all that sort of stuff. Okay, nice guy to the point of they open doors for you. You ring them and they're picking up the phone within the first ring. They're responding to text messages, bang, straight away. They're willing to spend every single moment of the day with you nonstop over and over again. Say, oh, no, that's a bit much. This is what those guys think that they should be doing in order to get themselves with ladies. Not all of them. Maybe I'm missing a bit of a mark there, but the way I understand it is, look at these questions. How do you guys cope with getting called names by women? You only get called by names by women if you are, from my experience, from what I've seen, and look, I'm no George Clooney, I'm no supermodel, I'm no good-looking fella. I'm decent. I've had success with ladies in the past. I'm sure I have success with ladies in the future. But I don't go out there putting myself forward just to be clapped back at by some ladies. If you know me personally, I know it's hard because I'm in a whole other country and everything, but I really am more of a reserved person out in public. I don't like to put myself out there. Some do. Those that put themselves out there, they're going to be more open to getting criticism or rejection. But as guys, we know we got to put ourselves out there in order to get something in return. It's a numbers game. You approach 100, you have a 10% strike rate, you get 10. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. I'm not here to teach us how to pick up. I don't subscribe to any of that pick up sort of stuff. That's not for me. I find it's definitely not for me. And I just find it a little bit cringy and try hard myself, but that's just a personal thing. If it works for you, it works for you. All good and well, man. All good and well. Dylan says, funny thing about Rogers, some incels actually hated because they perceived him as being a rich, pretty boy. That's what I'm saying. Like, even these guys are saying like he wasn't the worst looking guy, but it's the approach that maybe put him off. It's the approach that put him in this particular position. And again, it's what's their upbringing like? What were they told as teenagers? How do they perceive life? These sort of questions got to be asked, man.
But anyway, if we look at the next one, which admittedly is very old, but this is one that is kind of more of a hotbed for catastrophizing. This is called "Women Can Only Love Chad."
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chad's the attractive guy.
Yeah, the clues in the name. Granted, it's pretty old, but the discussions, at least to me, don't seem to be all that misogynistic, as in there's no women hating involved. It's more just a hatred for the game, if anything. And I think, for a start, subreddits like this.
So he says the whole incel thing is toxic and you should try and move away from that attitude. You're not entitled to women. And the reply is, I don't think I'm entitled to women. If I thought I was entitled to women, I would be surprised no woman wants to date me. That isn't the case. And I would be surprised if one wanted to. Another one here is saying that females don't have an easier time dating. They have easier time getting attention, which I'd probably say is true. There he is there. Hide your women from Chad. Chad's coming for you, ladies. But yeah, females don't have an easy in dating, but attention, definitely. 100%. Says, yes, they do. Use an online dating site as a woman, you'll see how easy it is to have. I don't understand what is so controversial to say. This is the result of someone pretending to be a woman on a dating site. He also disproves the myth of most messages someone can be just wanting sex. There have been so many of these actual instances of reverse dating profiles where it's a guy portraying himself as a woman, and It's like hit after hit after hit, non-stop, bang, 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 bang. Peter didn't pick a pepper, but 2. Where is Tyrone? You got your Chads, you got your Tyrones. You got your Kevin from sales. Who else is there? Who else do we got? Give me some other names. You got Chad, Tyrone, Kevin from sales. Surely there are other names out there. Let's bring him out there. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Peter didn't pick a pepper, but 2. Appreciate that. This is another thing as well. The Western world, the online dating scene, and it is very much a case of women have it much more easier than men when it comes to online dating. We get this. We've got Abdul, we've got Kyle, Abdullah, Chang, etc. So many names out there, man. So many names. All the memes are coming out now, the laughs. Yeah. When it comes to the dating side of things, your Henrys, yes. Your high earner, not rich yet, as coined by Kevin Samuels. I think that's what it means. Yeah, so you've got these guys out there, and it is very much easier for women on dating sites. We've had women pretend to be guys, even just average guys put out fake profiles of good-looking men with a horrid bio. Out of jail, went in for some business with my ex, also talked to some underage girls, it's crap, but it is what it is. Read this before you message me. And women would message, bang, 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 bang. And it would be things like, oh, hey, how are you? How you going? Yeah, I'm good. Did you read the message? Did you read the bio? Yeah, I did. Are you sure? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, some people have an issue with me. No, that's fine. Everyone deserves a second chance. So what area are you from? I live in blah, blah, blah. Trying to make something happen because looks do play a part. Ladies do have it much easier on dating apps. I did a video just the other day. Might have been a little bit skewed. I'm not 100% sure on that. There were a few comments saying it was maybe not misleading, but some factors were put out, which I acknowledge. I was like, yeah, fair point there. But basically women were matching at a 44% rate and guys were matching at a 2.6% rate on Tinder during, COVID and all these others. But if that doesn't tell you there's a massive skew in the online dating market, I don't know what does. But again, because it goes back to this whole thing of ladies have it easier when it comes to online dating and guys don't, and they get frustrated. I'm a nice bloke, I'm a nice guy, I work, I do this. Why am I not getting success with women? Fuck it, they're all rubbish anyways, who cares? And then, I can't get women, so I'll just be voluntarily celibate. I'll just go about my business, watch my porn, do whatever the hell that it is that I do, and fall into this rut. And when you get into this certain situation in this state, you sort of say to yourself, well, this is quite nice, quite comfy. It is what it is. Nate says, sorry for the MFs on those apps, got to fish for someone. I personally don't like online dating apps. A friend of mine still uses them. My best friend, he still uses them. And I've seen some of the things that he catches on there and some of the matches that he gets. And I just look at him, I just say, bro, why are you wasting your time? You are much better than this. And he's like, it's just for a hookup. And that's essentially what they use it for a hookup. But he's cocky. He's got a charm about him. He ain't the best looking fella. But man, I've seen this guy pull in real life. If you ever wanted to see someone actually do something in public, this is the guy you got to go to.
Are not good in the slightest. But only because they're actually more harmful to men than they probably are to women. Well, because it's
I love the British response to that though is just ban it. There's there's a place where people are meeting and complaining at each other. Yeah, well that's not good, so ban it. What? As if that solves anything.
Yeah, but I don't think that that going on places like this and seeing other people catastrophize about how awful everything is going to improve your chances of being happy or, shall we say, beating.
No, it's not going to make your personality any better.
No, it's not. So
so they're going on about all these subs and all these other places, you got the blue pill and you got the red pill, and then there's the incels and the MGTOWs and all these other places. And most of the time they're in there to try and find themselves some understanding, trying to find out where they are in this particular world, in the dating market, sexual marketplace, or whatever. They have questions. Hey, why can't I get blah, blah, blah? I'm 6 foot. I make X amount of $1,000 a year. I live in this city. I dress attractively. I have I'm happy to talk to people, but I can't get women to go on a date with me. Like, what's going on? What's the situation? And some people that are bitter and that are just have it in for these sorts of things, they will more often than not give you a negative light and look at everything in a bad way. Women, they just use men, and men don't get anything, and it's a woman's world out there. And look, truth be told, for me personally, there are arguments for and against that sort of notion here, but realistically, the guys that are disillusioned or see themselves as not being able to get anything will maybe move down the path of, yeah, ladies, they're not worth it. All they want to do is just, get drinks for free, get taken to dinner for free, have things done for them, and have nothing to answer for. I'm nice to a woman, she didn't put out, well, women just used me. Bro, there is an art form when it comes to dating. And like Chad said, if you're a guy, never use Tinder, especially if you're in your 30s and or below 7, because you're not going to get anywhere with these ladies. You're just not going to get anywhere. They'll match with you for their own. Look at me, I've got so many matches, all these guys trying to DM me, I'm hot shit, I'm a 10 out of 10, when realistically, she's probably a 6 at best on a good day. And that's where dating apps have sort of like inflated the sense of worth from some of these ladies based on the appearances, because the thirst is real. Guys are out there just liking and commenting and DMing and all these bits and pieces for ladies because of things like this, because guys do not have the success with women that women have with guys. And it could be the 80-20 rule, it could be the 90-10 rule, it could be the 95-5 rule. 95% of the women are getting with 5% of the guys, like the top fellas out there, or it's 80 and 20 or whatever. That's why you say to yourself, how is this guy getting with this chick when she's much better looking than him? Maybe there's something about him that turns her on. Maybe he's got a nice car. Maybe he's got a nice job. Maybe he talks and his voice is the sound of Sweet Velvet better than Barry White, for example. Even if he's a white dude or whatever. There's always something there that works in their favor. It's never just like she picked him out of a crowd. There's got to have something going on there. Got to have something going on. Nath, the whole time, 6'4", make a bit of money. Why don't they want me? Second I get off the apps and started walking myself. Yeah, it is, man. It is. It says, found the one that is perfect for me while not even looking. The apps screw your perceptions. It massively skew off perception. I'm actually trying to get some ladies on that I know through friends of mine who have actually gone out on dates recently with guys, found them online on dating apps or hookup apps, how they come to be known now. So I'm trying to get that happening. If it's not going to be a live thing, maybe I'll be able to get them on an off-air discussion and have a chat about things, because she's had some interesting experiences with guys recently. And yeah, stuff does happen. Guys are out there trying to get in, meets up with them. What do you know? They're just looking for an easy lay and in and out, whatever. What it is. Dylan says they skew from dating apps, also attempt to get guys to pay for a subscription. Man, I was on Tinder maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and nothing happening, man. Like hardly any matches, nothing's going on. Like, this is a piece of shit. You let it go, and then every so often, every few weeks, it will, a month, late in the month, you'd go on and see, and then you start getting sign up to my blah, 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 click link for more information. And you're like, I'm suspect over this. I'm very suspect over this. You click into it and it says like, come to my fan page, subscription. And it's like, bro, now these OnlyFans ladies are coming onto dating apps. Just they can get more guys looking at them and doing all these things. And they're still not going to get success like they will out in public. Now, Peter has a good point here. Says a negative echo chamber is risky. It'll show a lot of bitterness. But as the Rational Male said, it's also a catchment for people on the edge, a safe space, place to vent, and it saves lives. I'm glad he mentioned that, because I do have on hand right here, as I've used it before. And look, man, for all those maybe some faults or whatever, this book, honestly, there it is. This book right here, honestly, if you're a guy and you have not read it, read it. It's not a prescription. What does he say? Not a prescription. It's something. The information is here. How you use it is up to you. Very good book there. 100%, man. It does save lives. I know people that have thought about taking themselves. I know I had a friend a few years ago, 3 years ago now, divorced. He was depressed. I remember he posted on social media something about I've just had the worst time right now. I've had some very dark thoughts. Appreciate the kind words. And I messaged him like, bro, what's going on? And he's like, divorce, whatever, going through a bad place, this and that. Like, he goes, I just feel like this is the end. And I'm just like, bro, like, no, man, this is not the end. There is more to this than that. Like, and this is, you go back to the whole one-itis thing, or, thinking that you're never going to find anyone else like it. And in this day and age, marriage as well. Like, I wouldn't risk getting married, man. I personally wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. The Gospel of Rollo by now, yeah. Like I said, he has some takes or defends people, maybe that some have issues with, but I've dropped comments in his videos as well myself, and I've always said, man, you know what? I'll defend him because that guy absolutely knows the deal when it comes to helping men out there, because there is so much good information in this book, and he's done 3 or 4 others since then, but this one here is a must read. Anyways, onto the video. You're not here to hear me waffle on.
In any case, it's quite a stretch to say that the people on these forums
are... these jihadists.
Yeah.
For the incel jihad. Yeah, I don't think that's what's happening.
God.
Yeah. I really wish we had the clip of her going on Good Morning Britain and being like, yes, they use cucked and simp and normie. I was like,
Did you actually happen to see the incel video that Vice put up featuring El Reeve?
Right, get away from that Vice crap,
It's
man.
interesting, because if you look at this video, well, she basically creates quite an extreme reaction just from her presence. As in, you actually have like one of the guys on the video actually starts saying, I'm going to like bomb a building or something like that, and she actually admitted, like, after in the interview, that towards women, or at least that's what she was alluding.
Trying to find the good bits in this. I don't want to be on for too damn long with this stuff. You can watch the video yourselves. 24 minutes worth, man. Damn.
I can't get laid, so I'm going to threaten this woman with a bombing unless she has sex with me.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, that's a good point, man. That's a good point right there. Like, that's probably where they're going with this whole notion of trying to consider incels or incel culture or whatever as terrorists or things like that. Because, well, hey, if I'm not getting anything, I'm going to threaten you with violence if you don't give me what I want. Damn, imagine going to that resort to try and get yourself something. That to me is a very scary thought. And again, it's not every incel out there. It's not men in general. But damn, these things could possibly happen. It is something that is out there as a potential to be bad and cause some issues. But for the most part, that stuff does not happen, man. If you're at the point where you need to do something bad to get revenge on society, something terrible has happened to you along the way. Being misguided, potentially maybe looking at feeling that you're owed something when really you're not. I mean, I'm of the opinion and thought that no one owes you anything in this world. You need to work for it. You need to show people why you deserve something or why you've earned something. It's sort of like creating yourself a sense of self-worth, which probably could go into the whole incel thing as well. Well, I'm just whatever. I just work a 9-to-5 job. I play video games at night. I watch porn every day, and that to me is not a life I would love, or not love. Yeah, hell no, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to lead that sort of life. I want to have something to do. I want to be able to be doing things and making myself put a mark out there. As I said, I do this shit for fun. I got into this YouTube game by accident, by talking about people who I actually like listening to, Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit, and somehow I amassed followers, and I'm grateful for that. But apart from that, I still work. I got a career I've been hitting for 7-8 years now. I go to the gym. I talk about football. I make music. I DJ on the weekends. Like, I do things that keep me busy and keep me occupied, so I don't have to sit at home and think to myself, oh, could really do with a chick right now. I don't want to be that person. I want something, I'll go out and work towards it. And you know what? You approach, you don't see anything, doesn't happen. Well, on to the next one. Don't chase, replace. A lot of the issues you can probably get from this is guys who just keep pursuing the same thing, expecting a different result. You know what they say, the definition of insanity: doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Just going back up here, I am Chad, said something around here before that. Nath says, that reminds me of an internet friend that had to go through a divorce, genuinely was so low. Glad he found his strength again, kept moving forward. Yeah, that's bad, man. That's basically what happens, man. That is a bad thing. And Chad, here we go, says, the vast majority of Muslims are not potential terrorists, just as the vast majority of incels are not potential terrorists. But notice how the mainstream critique the incel culture, not the Islamic. There is something in that, man. There is something in that. The vast majority of incels are more disposed to suicide than homicide. Yeah, they're more likely to take themselves out rather than other people. I think the ones that do it to others. We also had another incident, and always in America. It happened recently. It was that the brothel or the massage parlor in Atlanta or somewhere in America. I can't remember exactly where it was, but something happened. And the guy was like, I took my revenge out on these places because I was spending all my money there, taking too much time, and they just wanted an out because they couldn't get with women, so they started spending their money and they felt like they were addicted to sex and porn. And it goes back to one of the comments from earlier on about Western culture being addicted or being conditioned to look at sex in such a way, man. Look like sex in such a way. When it becomes a problem, though, when it becomes a problem. And Dylan says, I can see it now, getting on the TSA shit list because I told them I haven't got laid in 6 months. Come on, man. I am Chad. The blue pill does condition us to believe that everyone, especially women, deserve love. I'm not surprised that incels believe they deserve basic human relations, connections, and intimacy. It's a bit like that. What do you do for work again? I work in audio, man. So that's my career. Ever since I finished high school in 2005, I got into audio. So my everything I do is involved around the entertainment industry or audio. So when it comes to the entertainment industry as well, man, I've got stories when it comes to ladies being out in public, trying to chat up guys, trying to get drinks off guys, trying to get with the DJs, you know, myself and others, just to get themselves in VIP and get the booth, get the free drinks. Yeah, look at me. I mean, yeah, get your phone out, Snapchat, Instagram, all this nonsense. And I don't play that shit, man. Honestly, if you ever met my friends, I do not play that shit. I hate it. I hate it. Fellow engineer, my man, 100%. Peter didn't pick a pepper, but 2 says, to be honest, just pay for it. Sure, it's unfulfilling, maybe good lessons. That's the physical act in the end, be all. But if you need it, pay for it. Yeah, and I had a conversation with Sterling Cooper, former male escort, porn star, another Aussie living in America or Europe now or something, and we had a discussion on paying for sex. Why do people pay for it? Because it was a foreign concept to me. I thought, why would anyone want to actually pay for sex? And got to thinking, people are too busy to go out there and look for women. They could be too busy going out there looking for men because ladies pay for sex as well, believe it or not. This was news to me. And you can probably understand that. Guys will be like, I don't have time for a girlfriend, but I still want to get laid. Go to your local, red light district or whatever, pay them your money and then be done with it. I'm good for another week or 2 and then off you go. That does happen. So you made a portray anti-Asian. Yeah, that's right. That's what happened. Bro, honestly, man, this is the thing. Not understanding what they're about and just looking at what they did. Man, young man, alt-rights, they're always going to throw those buzzwords out there. What's the situation? What have they done? Oh, they shot Asian people. Anti-Asian hate. Bang. There's your headline. White man as well. It's like, bro, shit runs deeper than that. It's not as simple as just a guy just said, fuck it, I'm just going to go out and shoot people today. That does not happen. It doesn't happen. There's always a before leading up to the after. Or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Neutral samurai, sorry. Getting sick of this, man. A bad narrative media is pushing. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Says, wouldn't realizing it's not to be able to infuriate them further. I don't know, that's a good point, because if sex is meant to be this big thing that everyone's meant to be after, the guys are looking at all these other guys getting with women and meeting them and hooking up and all these other things that they've seen in movies and video clips and social media. And you got to remember, social media plays a massive part in this as well, man. If it wasn't for social media, you're probably not going to see the amount of shit happening right now. And this could probably all go back to, again, this device right here, this thing right here, causing not dramas, not issues, but making things harder for men and easier for women. And again, men lose out in this situation here. Online dating, hookups, all that sort of stuff. Not every man can get it. You might catch one or two. Are they to your liking though? Maybe not. Maybe you might get something and you'd be like, yeah, no, this is good. And then 3 months later it breaks down and you think to yourself, okay, what the hell did I do wrong? I was respectful. I did this. I did blah, 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 blah. This whole list of things. And you think to yourself, well, shit, women ain't anything. What am I supposed to do now? Anyways, enough chit chat. Back to the video.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, exactly. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of this rhetoric. Whilst, I mean, don't get me wrong, for some people are going to be neurotic enough to actually like carry these things out, but you can't take an utterance like that and then think that these people immediately are capable of committing terrorism. Not least because the majority of people who say these things probably aren't going to do it, because if they were going to do it, they would conceal it to themselves, would they not? Isn't it more a cry for help rather than...
Most terrorists don't announce that, I'm going to do this terrorism tomorrow.
No, exactly.
So hijack these planes at this place at this time.
So to say, listen to these men and then assume that they're potential terrorists is a considerable overreach. Yeah. But anyway, diagnosing a belief in incel culture as extremism, I think, is what is in pretty bad faith. Not least because she completely ignores some of the other things on the internet that are actually prey on men's frustrations and actually almost make a virtue out of doing it. Such as, I'm not sure if you've heard of this, the infamous female dating strategy site.
Bro, before I go to the female dating strategy, I've done some videos on posts on there as well. And man, if anyone ever thought like RP content or the red pill, which doesn't teach men how to use or trick women, it's not about that. The RP stuff, and I have to keep saying this in case someone catches it and thinks I'm trying to get on someone's territory. I'm not an RP content creator. I'm not someone who tries to be one. I don't want to be... Yeah, I'd like to associate with some heroes of mine. Like, fuck, if I ever got a chance to talk to this guy, holy shit, man, that would make me. But, you know what I mean? Just to pick his brain and just discuss a few things. But it has to be said, man, RP stuff does help men. But they have to want to seek it. They have to want to get out of their comfort zone. They're at a point where they say, okay, I need to do something to sort myself out before I do something bad. You have to seek that shit out, man. You can't just get it. And going back to this whole thing, RP is meant to help men understand themselves as men. You want a woman to have a chat with you, you want to take a woman on a date, this is what women are like. From our experiences, from people that have actually done it over and over again, repeatedly, and got the results over and over again consistently. So it's based on, what do they call it, infield and all that sort of stuff. Like if they did day game, where they did like, in-person dating and things like that, just cold approach and all these other pick-up dating tactics and whatever. And look, truth be told, the more comfortable you are talking to randoms in public, the easier things become, because if there's one thing no human being in the world wants to be, is rejected. Rejection is a big thing that no one wants, and as men, we deal with it every day. We face it every day, man. I've been rejected by women before. I've been told no, I've been shunned, I've been ignored, I've been blocked. Not from being a dick, just the sheer fact that sometimes it just happens. Because, who's this guy? Delete. Nah, sorry, mate, not happening. All right, cool, whatever. Walk away with a smile on my face. But that's my mindset. That's how my mind works. These types of fellas, their mind isn't like that. If they go out and say, like, I've got some confidence in him, I'm going to go talk to that chick. She looks like, she's my sort of type. And then she turns him down because she thinks she can do better because she's on dating apps and she's got 100 matches in the last week. Hasn't spoken to any of them. Hoping she's going to find some Chad or Tyrone or Abdullah or Kevin from sales or Kyle or all these other names you guys brought up before. That's the hope. And then this guy's going to be thinking like, fuck, that was a waste of time. Why the hell did I do that? Now my ego is crushed. Now my sense of self-worth has been depleted. My self-esteem has gone down the shitter. Screw this noise. I'm not bothered for this anymore. I don't care. I don't want to do this. And then their hatred begins. Fuck women, they always want the best guy out there. You're never good enough for them. She's going to sleep with all these chads and whatever, and then she's going to be in her 30s and wondering where Mr. Right is, and he's not going to want him, and all this other stuff, man. All this other stuff. So let's get back here to Mr. Dylan Ewan's comment here where he says, wouldn't realizing it's not the end all be all infuriate them further. Peter says, it's exactly the phases of loss, the loss of a delusionment, the loss of life meaning and purpose, sorrow and anger is definitely a part of it. Yeah, the anger phase is definitely real, man. But he says as well, remember the girl in England and the cop men were asked to cross the road at night. Oh, that's right. The woman, sadly, her life was taken. She was murdered by the police officer, and they wanted a curfew for men. They wanted a curfew for men because one man did something bad. So instead of saying, look, there are terrible things out there, best watch yourself, take some protection, have this, take mace, a pocket knife, or whatever for your own safety. Instead of teaching them how to look after themselves better, let's just eradicate the problem. The 99.9% of the guys who all do the right thing and are courteous and just stay away, we're going to punish all them. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., no one's allowed out. Can you imagine that society? What are you going to have? All female bar staff, all female tech support, all female night workers, all female taxis, all female construction workers, all female police. Dumb. It's just so dumb. So dumb.
If we could get this up now.
So these are the femcells?
I hate these.
These aren't the femcells, no.
Who are they?
This is, I imagine, a feminist dating site based entirely on enabling women to take control. This is, I think, this is a direct quote, take control of their dating lives. In other words, it's a site that offers guidance for women who want to manipulate and frustrate men for sociopathic pleasure.
That sounds awful.
And
I hate female dating strategies, man. Holy shit. Dylan says, I'm down. Let's see how far that social experiment can last. Maybe we'd be lucky to get past a couple of hours, I would say. But just check these things on here. Look, cultural misogyny, BuzzFeed pushing dangerous LV shit. Don't know what LV is meant in this instance here. Husbands consent to being there for their wife in sickness and in health when they marry, yet they are statistically shown to fail at this even when it's the bare minimum strategy. See how he reacts to you falling sick and block and delete if he in any way seems unsympathetic. Am I the arsehole, so AITA, having my husband sleep on the couch knowing he's going to wake up very sore? I've been sick for over a week. He hasn't done anything to help me while I'm sick, food, etc. Blah, blah, blah. That sounds like something you need to speak to your partner about, man. That sounds like something you all need to speak about together.
And it is. Isn't this quite literally the sort of thing that facilitates misogyny?
Yeah.
And on top of that, wouldn't that make misogyny actually seem like a natural reaction if women are conspiring to make your life worse?
I mean, if these guys are literally advocating for, we want women to be terrible to men.
Yeah.
And then, the natural response would be men thinking that women are terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the way they want the rules to be is in plain sight, really. They want the ability to sexually frustrate men, in effect, for their own entertainment, whilst pointing the finger back at the male essence, really, when it all goes wrong.
It makes a good point there, because when you look at, not female dating strategies per se, but even just like the ladies that frequent these sort of places here, as he says, to sexually frustrate men because they're going to string them along, friend zone, do all the things that they're looking for. I'm going to take him for all he's worth. We're going to go out. We're going to meet for the first time. Okay, well, let's grab a coffee. Coffee. I'm much more than a coffee. We're going to dinner if you really want to go out with me. And some guys will say, yeah, cool, no dramas. And you're going to pay for the whole meal. Okay, cool, no worries. And you're going to pay for my taxi or my Uber there. Okay, and you're going to pay for my taxi and Uber back. Who wants that shit? That is not someone who is genuinely interested in you. That is someone who's fleecing you, taking everything they can from you, full max advantage. I know, because this nearly happened to me before, man. This nearly happened to me before. True story. And now the chick is married. She's had so much shit done to her face. I think she's got fillers and the lips and the eyebrows and the Botox and whatever. But like, she was so hot in her 20s, and I'm like, you know what, fuck this, I just don't care. Message him, hey, how are you? Good. Look, we'd see each other in the same circle of friends. We'd go out, we'd have a laugh, and then it would be, oh hey, so are you free? Let's go out and grab something to eat. We'll grab dinner or something. Oh, I want to go to X restaurant or whatever the hell it was called. And this was in Darling Harbour in Sydney. And it was one of the most expensive restaurants in the city. And I'm just like, yeah, no, not happening. And that was probably like a shit test to see whether I would absolutely go ahead with it or if I said no thanks. I ended up saying no thanks, never went anywhere, never met up, never did anything. But I remember that vividly, and I always think back to that now when I see guys who are put in these situations where it's like, women trying to get them to take them on fancy dates, go to dinners and things like that, and just to try and get whatever they can get out of them because, oh, hey, if he's going to take me out to a dinner, what else is he going to do for me? What else can I get out of this guy on the premise that, he's going to get something from me in return? And I nearly copped it. Luckily enough, I had enough sense to say, okay, this is bad. I'm not going ahead with this. Now, I am Chad back in the chat. Says, ever notice how the mainstream never depicts FDS as misandric? However, misogyny is the central defining characteristic that define manosphere groups. Yes, 100%. Even these guys are thinking of FDS in terms of perpetuating misogyny, and not seeing the invisible gender. Are we all thinking of the same FDS says FDS by... Oh, the Food and Drug Administration. Hey man, don't drink soy. Soy is bad. What was another thing as well? They were putting stuff in the water that takes away from your testosterone or something. Was that? Wow, I'm sweating. Damn, live stream. No live streams for me. Was there something in the water they were putting in there? I can't remember. It was something weird. It was something ridiculous. But yeah, 100% I agree with Chad here. Anytime there is something negative said about women, it's misogyny. It's sexist. It's women hate. Anytime women say something negative about men, it's just how they feel about the situation. It's because of the patriarchy. It's because women have been oppressed. It's like, miss me with that shit, man. When ladies are given first preference to almost everything out there today, you're telling me they're oppressed? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Alex, yes. Water's turned the freaking frogs gay. It turns out it was true. Alex Jones with another ding. Alex Jones. What a guy. Yep. 100%. 100%. It's the same thing when it goes to the online dating, like my women's preferences. I got dating preferences. I got preferences too. Oh, sorry, no short guys. I don't date any chicks that are, over a size 12. Oh, that's sexist of you. What's my weight got to do with it? What the fuck's my height got to do with it? I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm 165 centimeters. I'm surprised I get the luck I've had with women at my height. But then again, it does go to show, man, you can absolutely pick up ladies just having a bit of charm, bit of confidence, have a bit of a laugh with them because they love that shit, man. And I say this from experience. If I hadn't experienced it myself, I would not have believed it. I would have been so skeptical of that whole thing. But man, this shit happens. It does happen. Says, but seriously, I think you're referring to his traces of hormonal birth control that couldn't be filtered out. Yeah, mate. It was something like that. It was something like that. There was something in water, and it was just mucking up guys' testosterone levels or boosting their estrogen levels. It was something to that effect, man. I don't know. Anyways, we're nearly done with this video. I've gone on. I always go on overtime, man. Fucking hell. Anyways, let's go.
I mean, if Charlotte was actually genuinely committed to dealing with the problem of incel culture, surely she would trace it back to sites like this that are quite literally facilitating these resentful attitudes.
Well, she also wouldn't go on live TV and say "cucked" is an incel word.
Yeah, again,
she doesn't know anything.
I'm gonna have to see that. But this, if anything, is, I mean, it's the opposite of toxic masculinity, isn't it? So it's toxic femininity. It's quite literally, well, the feminine being used as a mean of manipulating the masculine for the, yeah. Very conscious of the fact that I'm probably sounding like a gender queer theorist at the moment. I'll have to stop. But it's essentially making men feel, it's encouraging women to make men feel inferior on purpose so as to make them want more. That's pretty much the moral code of this site. That's how they think that the dating game should work for women. And it's, if I'm being perfectly honest, it's pretty sick, actually.
Female dating strategies, man. There's a reason why no one likes them. And the ladies on there, I would love to know what the ladies are like on there, like what they look like, what they do for work, what they're like as people. Because as I said, like when we look at red pill stuff, and again, I ain't no red pill creator. Don't think I'm some, looking to come into that. I'm just talking as someone who follows it, and it's helped him a lot in the past. So I'm going to share my experiences and what's worked for me. When it comes to red pill stuff, it teaches you how to understand ladies, what they like, what they are like, what they don't like, things that interest them. We know social cues. We can understand things that women are attracted to. Now, they can say, nah, it's personality. I love his personality. He's got to be funny. He's got to make me laugh. He's got to be able to talk to him. Okay, find me a guy that you've never spoken to before in this crowd right now and tell me which one's got the best personality. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, because you need to talk to him. But how are you going to talk to him? What guy are you going to talk to find that personality that's going to make you laugh and all that sort of stuff? Well, I don't know. That guy over there, he's pretty cute. Oh, sorry, what? Cute? Yeah, he's good looking. I thought you were all about personality. Yeah, but they got to look good as well. They don't go for the look straight away. We are visual creatures. We look at what's attractive to us. Guys will look at a woman. Guys will look at a woman and be like, holy shit, she's hot. I'd definitely go there within seconds. Guys, you know it. The chat knows it, man. Chad knows it. Dylan knows it. 100%. I want to get to know what he's like because he's the best looking out there. Guys as well, they'll see a chick. Man, she's hot. I'd definitely hook up with her. Because we see it. What is she like? I don't know. I'll work out whether I like her or not after. It's never the whole thing of like, I'm going to get to know you first before I hook up with you. No, it's like, you don't know her. Yeah, but she's hot. So I'll hook up with her. I'll find out what her name is. We'll have a chat and I'll see if I like her after. Ladies do that as well. Ladies definitely do that. They'll look at the guy. He's hot. Let's get with him. Let's go get a drink. Go to the bar, whatever. You have a laugh. And what are you drinking? What are you here with? Etc. Etc. Chit chat. And the lady's got a bit of a vibe. I hate using that term vibe, but it's got a bit of an understanding to what he's like. And then it's like, okay, I can have a conversation with this guy. I want to know more. But she ain't going to pick, Mr. 4 out of 10 who's looking okay, but definitely is no match for, the other guys that are there with their nice cuts and their chiseled jaws and their beards and their muscles and all that sort of stuff there. He might have the personality she's after. 10 out of 10, 100% what she's looking for. She is not going to approach him. She's not going to go talk to him. She will definitely pick the most handsome. 100%. Peter Pepper says, just be yourself. Look, you can just be yourself, but you can't be yourself in that sense as well. You have to, my experience again, talking from my experience, from what I understand, you have to be a certain way as well. If I would just be myself around everyone, people would think I'm like, I talk too much. Like people that know me personally, like they're either always entertained with me or they get annoyed with me because I can talk and reference a whole bunch of shit, or they can get sick of it real quick. There's an in-between. If I was just myself, man, I don't know if anyone would actually be hanging around with nonstop. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I don't care anymore. But, yeah, each to their own. Anyways, almost video. Back to this already. Almost done.
But also, if the incel forum is terrorism, then this, would also reach that threshold of being a place of misogyny. Well, misandry.
Yeah, exactly. So if she's serious about curtailing...
Okay, this makes sense now. This makes sense. Yes, this makes sense. There's SpongeBob, just be yourself. Yeah, this makes much more sense. And Chad's right. He says, yeah, if yourself has no value, you can't be yourself. Be yourself is terrible advice. Look, if we were all ourselves, if women were really themselves, they wouldn't be out in makeup, they wouldn't be out looking good, they wouldn't be out in tight dresses and jeans and heels and whatever the hell that they're in for. It wouldn't have been there. It was a given. I don't know. I misread it, man. I probably thought, Peter was being legit on there. I'm just like, I had to second guess that one, but, you fooled me. Okay, you got me. I'll give you that. You got me on that one. I'll give you that. I know when I've been had, I've been had. I'll give you that one. But yeah, there's got to be something about you, man. Like, if I was the way I was now, and I wasn't a DJ, didn't make music, you know, or whatever, like, that's sort of like what makes me me in a way. I would not have the persona that I have around people, and that's not to say I'm using it to be a bit of a dick or someone who thinks they're better than everyone else. That's definitely not the case. I mean, people that know me will vouch like me. I like to sit in a corner by myself and just observe people. I don't like to be the person in the crowd doing whatever it is that they're doing. I like to be the person watching people from a distance and just observing people. I've been doing it for many years, part of the whole DJ and nightclub thing, and I'm just like, you can just see, you know, which guy's out there looking for a chick for the night, which woman is out there trying to get all the attention and all the eyes on her with nothing in return, which group of girls are trying to make themselves the life of the party, but, you know, they're annoying as hell, the guys that are trying too hard in the corner over there, just trying to get with any woman, the guys who think that they're heroes, but they're absolutely not. You can see these groups of people, like you can gauge where they're at, and that's me. I like to be in the corner and just observe people. So I'm not one of these people out there. But if I wasn't DJing and making music and all these sort of things, I doubt there'd be something that people would be really attracted to when it comes to me. And that's just the truth, man. That's just it. But I thought they look good for themselves. Of course they do. And they get boob jobs for themselves, and Brazilian butt lifts for themselves, and Botox for themselves. Yes. Yeah, they always do things for themselves.
Potential incel terrorism, which has happened. It is something that, needless to say, is a terrible thing when it does. But she's got to start looking at some of the things at the ground level that are facilitating the resentment. She could start, for example, by investigating why some men are going to the extent of identifying with their involuntary celibacy, like a self-fulfilling prophecy that they objectively can never get laid. I've certainly would. My advice to incels would be to say, stop identifying as an incel, and your lives would probably change considerably. But she could also look at why university campus culture in all of these cases has been cited in every has been cited by the perpetrator as a motivation for why they've conducted these killings. Perhaps, you know, there's something the universities are doing wrong here.
He's got a bit of a point there as well. Like, why is it, again, it goes back to my initial point at the start of this. Why is it that guys are getting to these particular situations? Why are they getting to this point? That there's always a lead up to it. It's not just, hey, today I woke up and decided I'm going to go and take my grievances out on the world. That doesn't happen. There's always a lead up to it. And this post here in particular says, men always know. No matter what a woman's struggle, childbirth, pregnancy, periods, child rearing, etc., we need to let go of the idea that men don't understand us. You ladies don't understand yourselves. How the hell are we meant to understand you? We can understand you to a certain point. After that, it's still a mystery. It says, but they do, and choose to look the other way. They know how hard it is to live in this world as a woman. Please, man. Please. They know how dangerous being out at night alone is. Let me tell you something. Let me fucking tell you something. Ladies, if you ever watch this and you think only ladies are the ones that are scared out at night for themselves, imagine being 18, 21 years old. It's peak nightclub season. It's summer in Sydney. You're 50 kilos, what was I back then, between the ages of 18 and 21, probably like 50 kilo, which is like, what, 110 pound or something, nothing. I was nothing, you know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. And you're walking around and you've got DJing equipment with you or music and all these other things out there, and you know someone can come from behind, smack you across the head, and I'm out cold. They can take me and whatever I've got on me, take my car keys, my wallet, whatever, phone, and I'm just left in the streets. Yeah, how often that thought went through my mind, even as a 33-year-old. Every single fucking time I'm out somewhere by myself. Every single time that goes through my mind. Every single time. I've never gone out somewhere and thought to myself, yeah, I'm pretty safe here, I've got no issues whatsoever. Doesn't matter. Could be walking 100 meters away. I could be walking 20 meters to my car. There's always a thought in the back of my head. Someone might come from behind, knock me down, take my shit and run. Ladies, if they think that it's dangerous for women to be out at night alone, the statistics show that men are more likely to be attacked when out at night or even just by themselves. Absolutely, it does happen, man. Take it from me. Dylan says that if you're a guy and get attacked at night, you're on your own. No one's going to bat an eye, 100%. It's like, well, what was he doing by himself? Why was he out there? It says here, I suppose the difference is that never stopped me from doing what I wanted. I never complained. Oh, I missed one up here. It says, I've been assaulted by men in nightclubs in the streets. Damn, really? Fuck, man. But this is the thing as well, like, why do guys have to be like this? I suppose it's another conversation in itself. Why are guys just aggressive douchebags, man? I really want to read any facts. Dylan says, comes with the territory. That's freedom. Yeah, 100%. When you're free to do whatever the hell it is you want to do, there are always going to be people that are out for you. And he also says, never had some genetic disposition, the fear of being fearing. Yeah, I don't know if it wasn't me, genetics. I just thought, like, I know that I'm an easy target because, you know, young kid, you know, bicep as thick as a wrist, you know what I mean? Like, nothing. That's just part of it. So, yeah, I just had to get that off my chest. It says here, how dangerous it is to go out drinking and to clubs. Well, fuck, mate. It's dangerous for everyone. Dangerous for everyone. That's why as soon as they have daughters, all of these dangers are suddenly real. Well, if you're one of these guys who are perpetrating these dangers, don't, because you're a fuckwit if you do these sorts of things. And if you're a man who participates in this activity, all this sort of shit, you're a scumbag. I can't stand people that do sorts of things like this. As she goes on, stop trying to explain these concepts to them. Most men are contrarian and will argue just for the sake of arguing. Hello, thy name is projection. Men are also very class conscious and will stand up for each other no matter the circumstances. Not true, as far as I know. You might think you're doing something when you write paragraphs, have debates, or share videos explaining womanhood, but instead you are just giving them space to gaslight. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Oh my days. Chat, for women, they suppose their bodies are inclined to fear because on average men are stronger, taller, and more aggressive. Yeah, true. And on average, men are taller, more aggressive, and stronger than me. So that probably I've got female thinking maybe in that case. Who knows? Dylan says called critical thinking. Maybe something of part of the comment there. But yeah, this is the sort of stuff that they're after. It says, this concept applies to even more than relationships. Don't fall for the idea that your boyfriend just forgets the laundry everywhere, that he just isn't good at remembering important dates or events. Ladies, why the hell do you need to know dates? Important dates and events. Oh, it's my second cousin, third removed birthday today. Who?
So I'm just reading some of this text as well, and it's just absurd. I mean, that one there, men always know, no matter what women struggle, childbirth, pregnancy, periods, child rearing, etc., we need to let go of the idea that men don't understand us. They do. No, we don't. No idea.
We will never understand you.
No.
Christ, I'm not going to be popular at the end of this.
That's fine.
By some, but no, she could also, and I think, and I think this doesn't really get a lot of attention from the feminist side, but she could actually at least acknowledge how appallingly dating applications encourage.
Let's get back to this meme here. 1 second, check this out. Go back. Where was the thing before? I just read the whole thing there. I was checking on my phone. That's poor streaming.
Understand you.
Check this out.
No. Christ, I'm not going to be popular at the end.
Here we go. Says referring to, they said contrarian and likely to argue for the sake of argument. No. We don't argue for the sake of argument. I always like to have a discussion or an argument to come to a conclusion. It's always the case. Whether I'm right or wrong, I just want to understand. I want to get to know. That's part of being a thinker, I guess. It's a good shout there, man. So this one here says, awkward. Maybe the illustrator didn't have time to draw a fifth panel depicting innocent women, children, and men getting killed. And men, okay. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they want to sugarcoat incel experience as something that only affects incels but not those around them. Actually, you know what? I think that's... Oh, I don't know about this one. The comic. Girls don't like me because of my height. If only I was 7 inches taller due to your personality.
end of this. By some, but no, she could also, and I think, I think this doesn't really get a lot of attention from the feminist side, but she could actually at least acknowledge how appallingly dating applications encourage women to treat men.
I don't know, this comic's a bit like it's your personality, and then they get into like a depression sort of thing. I think is that a gun there on the thing? That's, I don't know, man. Like, as I said throughout this whole stream, like, you need to want to change your appearance. You need to want to change your personality in a way, your habits, and how you perceive yourself as a person. You don't want to be one of these guys who's just gonna, be bitter nonstop and fucking women ain't shit, and women only use you and this and that and blah blah blah. When guys are literally doing things out there where women are not using them because they know how women like to think of men in a certain way, and how women like to think of men in a certain way. Did I say that twice? Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. If you don't understand, or you don't want to know, or maybe it's too hard and you want things done here and there and now, it's like this whole fast food thing. Oh, I want it now and I can get it now and it's over and done with, and now I want something else. This shit is not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. You need to work at it, man. It's not something you can just flick a light switch and say, hey, I'm a whole new person now. This isn't The New Guy, the movie The New Guy, where he gets kicked out of a school because he's a nerdy, geeky nobody, and he goes to a new school, and all of a sudden he's the hip dude. He's not the best looking guy again, but he's the alpha Chad, shall we say, in the school before he gets exposed as the as the loser that he is. Again, another Hollywood director's projection fantasy story, maybe.
Yeah, with this being an example.
Yeah, and needless to say, most obvious of all is the effect that was the institutional hatred of the male essence that we seem to have assumed is true, at least in humanities departments, has on the morale of men.
Look at this here. I've just noticed this. Men know what they're doing. Stop letting them get away with it. Firstly, I wanted to say how unbelievably thankful I am for this community. The mods are and every single one of you ladies make me feel so not alone. Here is the interesting bit here. It's one of the only safe spaces where I can be honest about my standards, and there are just no words to describe how lucky I am to have found you. My standards. Yes, because women's standards should be adhered to. Men's standards is sexist. How dare he ask for such a thing from a woman? Doesn't he know that she is a woman? Seriously, man. I recently made a comment and wanted to turn it into a post. The original poster posted a video for discussion which a pick-me was arguing that emotional vulnerability was risky for men. Yes, it is. And for those that don't know, pick-me's are ladies who these types of ladies would call a woman who wants to cater to a man's needs, understands what a man's after, and then in turn a man will also give back what she needs from the man. And we've seen it so many times before. They'll say, be vulnerable. Women like an emotional guy. No, they fucking don't. No, they do not. They say they want an emotional guy. You end up getting emotional with them, and then coochie's all dried up. Sorry. The peach is now dry. It was nice and moist. Peach is now dry. That's what happens, man. And they have a disdain for you. It's like, this guy's not the strong guy that I thought he was. He's a bit of a beach. He's a little beach. That's what he is. That's what happens. She says, emotional vulnerability was risky for men, comparing it to how sex is risky for women due to how we've been socialized. Not about socialized. I think it's just a general thing, man. Men aren't socialized to be emotionally repressive. They're socialized to be selfish and entitled. No, it's not selfish and entitled. I've never been selfish and thought I was entitled to anything in my life. I've always worked towards it, and I've understood when things are not on, there's just not on. There are reasons behind it. Okay, I understand. Thank you. Have a good day. Go about your business. Go about your business. Dylan says, loser that he is or was, because if by going to a new school he became Chad, then it wasn't just a matter of attitude all along. Yeah, it's attitude, appearance, all those sorts of things. Like that's what I'm saying. You can change what you are in a person. What you were previously, obviously it's a movie, it's a little bit made up and whatever, but how you were as a person beforehand is different. Like I said, I'm different to how I was 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure you guys are different to how you were 5, 10 years ago, depending on your ages, for example. Maybe 20 years ago, whatever. It is very much a difference of attitude and aptitude and how you apply yourself. So if you apply yourself a certain way, looking for a certain outcome, you're probably going to work towards that outcome. But you have to be in the mindset of it. You have to think to yourself, okay, what do I need to do to get to this place? Same like these incel guys. Okay, I want to get with women. How do I get with women? Well, women like a guy who's confident and good looking and whatever. Well, I'm not confident. I'm not good looking. That sounds like hard work. Fuck it. Video games. Porn. It's also a comfort thing as well. It's a shock to the system that they're probably not willing to work towards. And those who have had shocks to the system, they've had their wake up, they're probably better off now in this day and age. Mr. Chad says, personally, I'm less scared of men because generally speaking, we no longer live in an era of physical power. Instead, I'm more scared of women. We live in an age of social and cultural power. Yep. Hashtag me too. False accusations. All sorts of things like that. They are happening every single day. I've actually said this to a couple of ladies. They're like, would you rather be around a group of 10 men or 10 women? I'm like, what's the context? Oh, you're just chatting about and hanging out, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, here's pros and cons towards it. And yeah, pros, men, we're men, we probably get along with one another. Con, well, they can beat the shit out of me if they ever turn because it's 10 against 1, for example. And was with the ladies, well, it's a pro because there's 10 women that I'm chatting with, and what guy doesn't want to be around 10 women, good looking, let's just say. Con, they can all do something to me or say something about me and my life is over, and they laughed. And they absolutely, and she laughed at me, and I thought, why are you laughing? He goes, what do you mean they'll do something? I go, but you, seriously? All I have to do is just approach a woman the wrong way or ask her the wrong question, and all of a sudden I get a fucking accusation against me for some bullshit, and my life is done on an accusation. They don't think about it that way. They think it's all laughs. Goes on to say, women have explicit cognitive advantages over men when it comes to social power they wield. There's a social power gap between men and women. And Mr. Newen says cognitive advantage meaning what in this context? Cognitive advantage. Social power they wield. Maybe it's the way they can still, maybe not control men. Maybe they put them under their spell or something. Maybe that might be something in that. Perhaps, I'm sure Chad is giving us his response at the moment. Here we go. Meaning literal neurological capacities that men don't possess and the ability to maneuver those abilities to their own vantage. I feel like I'm learning some new language here tonight, man. Holy shit. Neurological capabilities men don't possess. Yeah, women probably do things in a different way that men just don't have or they don't do, and it just ends up working in their favor. It's like the Eddie Murphy thing. Speaking of Eddie Murphy, I did a little video on Eddie Murphy Raw, filmed in 1987, where he's like, you ever see like a good looking man with like an ugly woman, and you always see them together, and it's like, hey, how'd that happen? It's like, yeah, how'd that happen? It's like, because they have figured us out. They cater to our ego, and that stand-up comedy needs its own damn explanation. Like, I'd love to just watch that from start to finish and just have a chat with you fine gents out there and ladies if you're watching, and just talk about it, because that was 34 years ago now, still holds true till today. Acquisition of processing of information. Yep, they know the information. Okay, I know what this guy likes, I know what he's after, I know how I can get him. Bang, I'll cater to his ego. Locked in, done and dusted. Thank you, wham bam. Thank you, ma'am.
I've got personal experience with this, which I won't declare here, but nonetheless, I do know that it isn't easy if you happen to be comprised of the unholy trinity, which I think the viewers know what that is, cis, and white. But yeah.
What's the holy trinity when it comes to an incel thing? Holy trinity, was it look, status, game? If you don't, yeah, is that it? That's it, isn't it? Look, status, and game. That would be the holy trinity, would it? Maybe money plays a part in there. Is that what he's talking about? I don't know, man. Yeah, money. Yeah. Says here, the power gap is real. Men cannot defend themselves if they can't read and interpret the real world. Yeah, it's was it Richard Cooper calls it the betatization of 1,000 concessions. Well, if only we stop women, we stop doing this for women. Okay, cool. Well, men, you can't do this anymore. Okay, we won't do this. Men need to change this. Okay, we won't do this. We need blah blah. The more you take away, the more you concede, and you're no longer a man anymore. Yep. Looks, money, status. That's the one. Sexual market value, looks, money, status. That is, so it's not looks, game status, looks, money, status. Yeah, that'd be, game helps, 100%. But if you got your looks and your status, sometimes status is enough, really, when you think about it, man. It really is. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there.
It's, I mean, well, on a practical level, do you actually think something like this is, of course, I know what the answer is going to be. Do you think something like this could ever be effective? I mean, even
anti-incel.
Well, if you were quite literally to remove all of the little platoons on the internet where incels find solitude, you actually think this is going to make these terror attacks less frequent or more frequent?
You're also proposing something that can't be done, which is the stopping of people talking to each other.
Yeah.
So never going to happen.
Yeah, but if you're going to double down on quashing that, then I would speculate that it would actually get worse, given that the frustrations aren't going to be put out there. Like amongst these forums, I'm sure.
PUA, pickup artistry or pickup artist. That's what PUA is. That's old talk from the late 2000s, 2010s. Who used to be big in that? Roosh used to do it. I think Roosh used to be a pickup artist, and before it got into the whole religion thing, and a lot of all these old pickup artists and guys like that, they're doing the whole God thing. They're moving over to religion, and I was wrong, and it's sex is something that really should be done between the man and the woman in a sacred way, and all these other things, and everyone else is just like, bruh, you just disregarded 15 years of work that is actually legit. Fucking is what it is, man. But that's it. Yeah, PUA sounds like a makeup brand or some shit. Maybe one day. Yeah, Rushvik took the role of religion pill, 100%. Took it, 3 years ago now? 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And you knew something was up with Rush when he started growing his hair, man. When he started growing his hair long again, I'm just like, something's going on here. And he went back to his Christian Orthodox roots, being, was he Armenian, I think? Rush Valazadeh. Was it Armenian or Azerbaijani or something? I don't know. I think it was Armenian. I'm not sure. There you go. Eastern Orthodox. There it is. Well. Yeah, man. Rush is now on the religion pill. Didn't you know, man? Yeah, he's gone all out. God pill now. What's it called now? What's what called pickup artistry? I don't know. I think PUAs are still out there. I don't do the PU thing, man. I just can't. And he says, what are your thoughts on those traditionalists? Man, if you listen to other guys in the RP community and other men's improvement or well-being channels and things like that, some will probably be looking towards keeping things traditional, find a woman for marriage and children, all that sort of stuff, which is all good and well. And it's probably more so to the point of ladies finding a man who's going to nurture and look after them and their kids, and men finding a woman who's going to nurture and look after their kids as well, because you want to have two together. I'm not trying to be some know-it-all here, but the way I understand it from people like the roommates or Kevin Samuels when he has his calls and things like that, it's trying to put people together and basically get together for the traditional purposes of procreation. Essentially, that's what marriage is for, really. Make kids, live a life together, raise kids, and on to the next generation. Star Trek, the next generation. Had to throw that bullshit pun in there. I don't know, man. It's different strokes for different folks. Different strokes. Pickup artistry is still there, but I don't think it's as big as what it used to be. There are still some guys that still do it out there. Personally, not something I would ever do. I'd rather, read this for the 10th time over and get myself some more information out of this, because every time you read it, you're always going to find something else, you can draw from. It's like, okay, it's a new spin on things, and look to improve yourself in one way or change things and better your outcome in another way. And some would probably just be like, nah, so let's keep talking to women, going to different cities around the world, slaying ladies in every city, picking them up, and cold approach and all those sorts of things. And man, if that's your deal, you go for it, man. I'd be more interested in just understanding what it is that we can do as people and try and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, improve every aspect of us that we can. I've got a messy beard and my hair's all over the place. Fuck, man, get yourself a nice beard cut and get a nice hairstyle. That's first and foremost the easiest thing you can do, man. Easiest you can do. Chad says PUAs are more underground. And he says this as someone who was a PUA. Man, I'd love to pick your brain. Hit me up on the Twitter or the Instagram, man. We'll try and do like a little one-on-one there in that case. Because like, whilst I'm not a part of that thing, it doesn't really interest me to become one. I'd love to know the inner workings of that. What was it like? Because we see a lot of guys that are trying to push out dating apps and courses and all these other things, when really, for me, all you got to do is just change things about you for the better. If you have bad habits of eating shit food, try not to eat shit food. Start going out for walks. Start doing things, activities. Do things that are beneficial to your health. Stop eating McDonald's every day. Stop, drinking gallons or liters of Coca-Cola. Start drinking water, juices. Have some yogurts and things like that. Little things, from little things, big things come, right? And then it could be, again, just changing a hairstyle, getting yourself a nice beard trim, throwing out ratty clothes, simple things like that, man. Like Jordan Peterson says, clean your room. Before you start doing anything else outside, clean your room, make sure your room's in order so you have something to get yourself based off by. Dylan says, me too'd into oblivion. Pick up artists these days, yeah, probably. Chad says, no problem, we can actually, hell yeah. Says 99% of dating coaches are scammy. You know what kills me? I know we've sort of veered away from this it's pretty much done and dusted now, so I'll just drop this out and we'll wrap things up shortly here. But the one thing that trips me out when it comes to the dating coach thing is basically everyone's trying to sell you something. Like, it's never a case of, okay, here's the information, run with it. Like, again, this, for example, here's the information, run with it. Cool, I've got the information on here. Like, I can look up anything right now. Like, if I'm looking at, playing friends, Rollo, how do I get out of the friend zone? Never allow yourself to get into it to begin with. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, that's interesting. How do I not get into it? Don't fall into the tropes of being the friend. Do things with an objective. Be direct. It's not to say be a douchebag or a sleaze about it, but make your intentions known. At least you'll know it's a no from the beginning, and you won't waste your time doing other shit and end up like these guys are, causing atrocities later on because you thought everything was made of sugar, spice, and everything nice because that's what you were told as a young kid. It's a harsh reality, man. It's a harsh reality, bro. I can look at the information and pick up on it, anything I want to get out of it. But pick-up artists for me and dating coaches and things like that, I don't know, man. Chad, if we ever have a conversation, I don't know what it is, man. And it's always like, well, this guy read my thing and he stole this from my course and he's twisted it and made it his own course and it's all a rip-off and he's charging X amount of dollars, but I'm charging this amount of dollars. It's cheaper. It's better off. I've got success rates. I've got this. I get it. There's a business to run. I understand that aspect. I really understand the aspect that there is a business to run. But for the sole purpose of picking up ladies in bars, clubs, in the park, in the gym, wherever, I just can't wrap my head around it. I just cannot wrap my head around it at all. Peter says, too true, is kind of risky, especially because it does work, and when the girl realizes how easily she was manipulated and she gets angry and vengeful, life can get complicated. And that's another thing. I was manipulated, I was tricked, he said all these things, and I wasn't thinking straight, and blah, 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 and it's like, oh, woe is me. It's like, bruh, you have got agency. You are your own person. You should be able to speak out. No one forced you to do anything. some things were said, it got your mind thinking, oh, okay, this is actually pretty good. I'll get into this. Same way with guys. When ladies say, yeah, let's go out for a date, you know what I mean? Oh, I love doing cuddling and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And when the date's done and dusted and you've paid $100 or whatever it is, and her stomach is full, she's had 3-4 cocktails, and she's like, oh, I'm not feeling well, I think I'm gonna go home now, when she ends up going to Chad's house and and calls him up at 1 a.m. and says, hey, I'm coming over, and says, no dramas, front door's open, you know what I mean? And guys get frustrated at that shit. That's what happens. He also says incels hate dating coaches more than feminists, normies, etc. But because it's like, wait, why do I need a dating coach? Why do I need to know how to pick up women? Why do I need to know how to approach women? Why do I need to know how to be someone that women are going to like? They should just like me for me. That's not reality, my guys. It is not reality at all. And this is exactly what I was thinking of, dude. The John Anthony and John from MLD drama. And you know what? I like John. I don't mind John. He can be a little bit cocky and abrasive at times, but I don't mind John from MLD. I think he's funny. And he lives in Japan and he's doing it from Japan. That's a personal thing. What he sells, I'm sure it works for plenty of people out there, but not for me, man. Like, I just don't think I'm in a position where I need that sort of thing. I'm happy. I'm content where I'm at right now. Everything's going from strength to strength. I've got a good group of friends around me, small circle, people that I trust, people that I need around me. I don't need the multiples and all the fans when it comes to DJing and music and all these other things. It's all nice. I appreciate all that, but I don't solely live for it. I don't need to be on social media every day showcasing, hey, look where I am, look what I'm doing. And that shit ain't for me, man. That shit ain't for me. John, anything to do with the body count? I think so. That guy reminds me of an overweight Harry Kane. If anyone looks up Harry Kane, Harrykane, if you're Premier League fans or football fans, he looks like a overweight Harry Kane. And that's the thing as well, like, look at the guys who are teaching you these things. Again, I'm not saying that they don't work, but it's like saying, well, I'm going to have the overweight person train me today at the gym. It's like, do I really want to take training advice from someone who doesn't look like they train themselves? I know it's an old trope and people say, would you ask a broke man for financial advice? No. What do they know about financial advice? They got no money. How are they going to help me? How are they going to give me information that I can use and apply to myself? So I get you're going to go to the people that are going to give you the information that you need for whatever it is that you want. If you need to search for it, if you need to get it, man, if you need to find it. But I think I might wrap things up. It is 11:45. Another work day begins tomorrow. But I want to thank all you fine gentlemen for being here for this discussion on the whole incel thing. And it was not a dig on incels. As we said, there is much more understanding there. There is so much more to understand rather than just like, I can't get women, so, screw the world. There is, they can teach me not to be broke. I'll take that. That's a fair point. I'll take that. Very good point. Very good point indeed. But yeah, that's basically going to do it here. So I got nothing else. That was pretty much it. Was there anything else I can throw up on here? Here we go. Thanks for hanging out. Find me on Twitter, Instagram at Nixon Talks, all that good stuff. And I shall try and do more things like this every so often. I only do live streams when I'm sort of like can't be bothered to pre-record and rather just go run off the cuff and do whatever it is that I got to do. So appreciate you guys hanging out here. Hopefully I wasn't too boring. Hopefully I wasn't, I know I was repetitive, but hopefully I made some sense. And hopefully I contributed to some entertainment to you fine folk today. So thank you very much once again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. Have yourselves a good Friday or Thursday if you're overseas right now. You're going through your Thursday right now. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.